Okay, so we have a question from one of our parents, and they want to know, how do they get their child to play alone? And this parent should know that they are not alone. This is a common problem where your child is not able to play by themselves, and now they are following you around the house saying, I'm bored. So they want to know, how do I get my child to play by themselves?
I think one of the strategies that I've used and have recommended is set a timer and set up toys. So preferred toys, Legos, whatever, and just set a timer for, I mean, I know a minute's not very long, 30 seconds is very long, but the idea would be to graduate that time, and then just, if you can, state the rule and say, okay, you got to play alone for this amount of time, 30 seconds, whatever. When the timer goes off, then mommy will play with you. And so then in that way, there's like an end time to the time that they have to be alone. And you might have to start small. So like I said, like 30 seconds isn't a lot of time, but you're going to build off of that time. And if you're like, oh, I don't even think my kid could go 30 seconds play, then start smaller, because you have to start at this, like the smallest level, and then build up from there. So then eventually you're just increasing the time until they're playing by themselves, and then just show them all kinds of like praises and excitement that they were able to play by themselves. And then, you just kind of build off of, each day is going to be different. Start smaller, start bigger. But I've seen that work in the past. It's worked for me when my child was younger too.
The other thing that's really great about that, Stephanie, is that when adults give instructions, it's often open-ended. And if you're just saying go play, well, how long is go play? Go play feels like a million years. I can't go play. You're making it a very closed-ended instruction for that child. So it's going to be 30 minutes. When 30 minutes is over, then I will play with you. And so I always talk to parents about closed-ended versus open-ended. So that's a really great strategy.
That's great.
We've talked about it, and sorry, go ahead, Monica.
Oh, I was gonna say I had like a couple of like things that I think that are really important with this goal specifically, because it is something that's going to be important for their entire like childhood duration, even as an adult. I do think that doing it daily, even if it's for a few minutes, is really important to like set that up on a regular basis. And it's also how you present it, depending on obviously how the age of the child, but making it so that it's not like, mommy can't play with you right now, I have stuff to do, like you need to go play by yourself, right? It kind of seems like it's because you don't have time, versus like, oh my gosh, this is like, oh, it's Kingston's playtime right now, you get to find whatever you want to do, or you get to play by yourself right now, and make it like, it's how you present it a lot of times, I think. And like making it fun, obviously, or having items that maybe are just for that special time, so that they don't have access to it before, but then during that time, it's like, that kinetic sand or something that they maybe like really enjoy, or like special Legos. It doesn't have to be like a new toy. It's just something that you withhold during other times, possibly, to make that time more enticing. And I do think that if your child's really young, having a barrier, starting small, like Stephanie said, but having a barrier so that they can't get to you. And even if they don't play, but they're just standing there or they're crying, whatever, just after the 30 seconds, wow, you played so nicely by yourself. And then you do it again. And so just making sure that they don't have access to you when they're really little, I think is important, because then it just it'll help get them there that much faster, I think. So
I agree with that.
Yeah, and it's like what you were saying earlier, Monica. This is a very important skill. Like, there are adults out there, and we hear things like FOMO, fear of missing out. It's not just telling people or our children, hey, go do something and learn how to do something on your own. It's not just that. But I was thinking, and you said it, some of the things that we've done with our children are Legos, like something that has structure. They can do it on their own. There's problem solving involved. It's also modeling. What do we do on our alone time? Read books, or maybe we do puzzles, or maybe, there's some people, even if you want to model doing Legos and you're within close proximity, but it's like more of like parallel play, so that you can teach them how to play on their own. And working with families that have typically developing children, or children with special needs, typically developing children, they want to play with other people. And a lot of times with the children with special needs, they want to do their own thing, and it's not always appropriate. So it depends on, who we're talking about, but it's very, very important that your child or your children know how to occupy their time so that they're not dependent on other people for happiness. That's the biggest part of all of this, right? And it's, what kind of things can we teach them to do at a younger age? What do people do as they get older? Think about it. What are some of the things that you guys enjoy doing as adults that don't require other people? Maybe reading a book, watching a movie. Not that I, want to promote screen time and increasing screen time, but these are all the things that we can do in solitary, and we're not requiring another person to participate. And what can the kids do? Legos, puzzles, different things that will, academically challenge them, right? Problem solving skills, planning, all of those come with puzzles, with Legos, anything you have to assemble, models, car models, plane models, whatever it might be. But yeah, it's a very, very important skill that I think a lot of people don't realize, children need to have, so that as they get older, they're not dependent on other people for happiness.
Yeah, I agree. I do like the idea of like having a special toy. I think that I didn't even think about that, but that's really good, because then they look forward to that time with that toy and they don't get any other time. And then having that be like, whatever, something easy, something fun, something they've looked forward to for a long time. Just to kind of create more reinforcement and motivation for that time by themselves.
We really want to thank that parent for submitting the question. And I'm sure those of you watching already are thinking about how this differs with your child. Your child's young, your child's old. So feel free to comment, ask more questions, or share some of your experiences with us.